Good morning, friends, and welcome to day 6 of the Clean Slate Challenge. The storm has passed here in western North Carolina. We've had a little bit of rain. Duckies are all cozied up here this morning, and I am ready to try to tackle a lot of things that I have here on my plate. For those of you who don't know, and maybe you're just being introduced to this series, I am spending the remainder of this year. We have 87 days left, and I want to tackle so many things on my plate, truly just clear them off, get back to the basics so that I can actually build the life I want to be living and not the kind of chaotic mess I currently find myself in. Good morning, Benny boy. Hi, buddy. Good morning. First things first, morning routine. Got up, got ready, came out, did the things I needed to do, like letting Mr. Benjamin out so that he could, run amok and do the things that he does. Headed out. Thankfully, I remembered to schedule the coffee maker last night, so I was able to come out, get myself a cup of coffee, and try to pull it together because I have a really big day full of a lot of things that need to get done today. So you're caught up. Let's get into it. And now I'm in here because I have a stupid amount of computer work I have to get done this morning, so that's okay. Beef organs to keep me healthy, creatine to help keep me strong. I'm gonna take these, drink my coffee. I've got everything set up here. There's mess everywhere. Cannot wait to get to this room. I'm gonna tackle this computer work and then we'll get to the real heart focus of today. I'm not even going to try to pretend like this isn't what happened, but it's what happened, and it's what happens more times than I like to really stop and think about. But I never actually got to have the conversation that I want to have today because it is literally to the minute. It's been 11 hours since I started my day working on the computer and having to deal with loads of things that just didn't work right, had to be redone, weren't finished, had to be being able to put content out, I know is fun, and I love it more than anything else. I genuinely love doing this. There's so much behind the scenes work, and every once in a while, everything just explodes, and you spend 11 hours staring at a computer screen, and my eyeballs are burning. I'm exhausted. It is 7 something. I don't know. I'm getting a shower, I'm snuggling my kiddos, and we will finish this conversation in this video in the morning, and we'll get it out because I am so toast for today. So 11 hours of computer work, that's what I've done today. No fun, super cool reset stuff, but hold on. And it's the next day. Look at that. I am exhausted this morning. I hate how exhausting sitting and staring at a computer screen is. I would much rather be up and be physically worn out and exhausted from deep cleaning a space than that exhausted you get when you've been staring at a computer all day. My eyes still hurt. So up this morning, trying to get going. I slept in a little bit. So I slept in an extra half hour. I finally got up and I started trying to film so I can start on the new day that we're going to see tomorrow. And I have been doing horrible. Absolutely horrible. So my brain is just not ready yet. So I'm we're just gonna sit down. We're gonna chat about what I wanted to talk about yesterday, and then I'll move into that stuff, which of course you're gonna see tomorrow. I'm trying to pull it together today. I think that October is the perfect time to reset your life, to jump into this. And I thought it was interesting because we see this from a business stance, right? This is Q4. You have your last push for the year of things you're going to get done and, what you're going to accomplish, any, sales goals or targets or whatever else you had, this is kind of big things. We see it from that world. But then we also see it just seasonally, right? Different seasons call for different things. And for most people, the summer season is rather interesting because even if you homeschool, usually your rhythm and routine looks a little different. So if your kids go to government schooling, they're home for the summer. If you homeschool, usually you kind of take a little bit of a break. Maybe you do some vacations. Even for us, we school year round, but we even adjust our summer a little bit because my kids just want to swim. My kids just want to play, they just have certain things they want to go do that that's just what we, set our schedule for. And so there's this thing that happens that's kind of built into us, I think, even most of us growing up, having that school rhythm and whatever. Come September, October, we start to get in this just, it's time to put things back together. You know, it's time to get a little organized. It's time to get started. You're going from that summer rhythm and routine, moving into this autumn season that usually is a little more kind of focused. And I think there's a lot of interesting points we can pull from this. I think for a lot of us, what makes it perfect too is summer's hot, right? Like I know for me, I have these grand plans of things I want to get done. And then it hits a point where I'm just like, it's hot. I don't want to do any of this. I am sweaty and sticky and it's humid and I just, ew. But it's like why spring cleaning and then this autumn season, these really stand out because in the spring, right, things are starting to get warm again after being cold all winter. The days are getting brighter, longer, and you just get this like burst of energy to open up the house and clean all the things. Well, then in the fall, it's like kind of the next piece of that, I think. And so I really want to just throw this out there to you that you can kind of pray through this. And if you're looking, whether you want to be super extreme like me and literally strip down all but the essentials out of your house, you don't have to do that if that's not what you feel you should do. That's what I'm going to do because that's what I feel I need to do. I know for me, even on my other channel, Make Femininity Great Again, we have our little group over there and I put out monthly kind of challenges each month where you get a little monthly calendar and every day it gives you a thing to do or a thing to focus on. And we have fun little intentional living planner and a great group over there and things like that too. If you're really looking for stuff just to help you in the how to do the homemaking stuff better, that's what that's over there to be. You guys can go check it out. But whether you're just wanting that like little something to focus on, little area to kind of like have something to check off, or you're going to just devote yourself to the next 90 days stripping everything down and really working through it, I think that a lot of us will be like, well, next year, right? That we have this, like, even if you're not big into New Year's resolutions, we have this, well, next year I'll get to that. That can be a, you know, new year, new me thing. Like that's when I'll do it. And I'm going to tell you, don't wait. Do not do that. October, this Q4, this last 90-ish days that we have, this is the time to seize that goal and just go for it, right? Take this opportunity and say, you know what? This is when I'm going to do it. I think that October really kicks this off in such a great way because even though this isn't the way that we necessarily live anymore, we see the harvest principle at play. And when we talk about October, we talk about the season. I know for many of us that celebrate the biblical holy days, we just had Yom Teruah and Yom Kippur. We have Sukkot getting ready to start off, but it's all about harvest. Of course, we see this as Americans culturally with Thanksgiving, but it is harvest time. And biblically speaking, this is when you reap what you've sown, right? You've put all this work out there and now it's time to reap back the crop that you've sown. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way, but I mean it as an invitation to actually assess. We are here in this final quarter of the year, and this harvest season is a time where you're going to start reaping what you've sown. And so I know for me, I have not sown the right things all year long, okay? And so I'm not going into the season being like, wow, I've been intentional, I've done the things I needed to, and now my things are together, my ducks are in a row, and like I'm ready to reap that reward. Now I'm looking around going, I'm only reaping chaos and mess and overwhelm and stress and disorganization and things like that that I don't want. So for me, I'm kind of like assessing that. I'm like, wow, what did I plant in my life in the spring? What grew? What didn't? What needs to be pruned, right? What did I plant throughout the summer? Nothing good. Again, like I'm looking at mine and I'm going, wow, I was not a good steward with what I was sowing all year long. And so now the harvest that I'm reaping is one of mess and overwhelm and stress and chaos and stuff that needs to seriously be addressed. In Proverbs 14, verse 23, we see all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. October is when we get to see the fruit of our work or the lack of it. I am squarely sitting in the lack of it section on this. And I don't mean that to shame anyone. I'm not shaming myself, but I'm using it as a means for myself to really wake up before I've lost another year. It would be so easy to be like, oh, I don't know, I'm just going to head in the sand and maybe next year I'll get to it, right? Like, I think sometimes we get close to that end and we can do one of two things. We can either be like, snooze and do nothing, or be like, hey, here's my deadline. This is the time I've got. Let's do this thing, right? The second thing that I think really stands out, this principle that God wired us to align with seasons. He did. And we may live in different areas of the world and have, seasons may look a little different, but we're still aligned with the seasons. And the more that you allow your body to align with the natural world around you, it makes a big impact. I know for our family, I try to get outside as much as I can. My brain is not firing on all cylinders this morning, y'all. I'm sorry. I try to open the windows as often as I can and let as much fresh air in. We do not use hardly any overhead lights in our house. We just use lamps. And so that means that in the evening, when it starts to get dark outside, it's dark in our house. If it's a dark morning, it's dark in our house. But I like that. I like that our body feels more in tune with the season because, yes, we're going into the darker part of the year, my home is physically darker. I use lights, I use candles, I use soft little sweet glowy things. I didn't even turn on my rechargeable candles back here today. That's okay. So yes, January might be the start of our calendar year, but that's not how God's cycle works, okay? October is when nature, God's creation, starts really preparing for what's ahead. The trees are letting go of what they don't need, right? I'm seeing that everywhere. Last year we missed all of our fall color because Hurricane Helene stripped everything away. This year we get it again and it's so beautiful. It reminds me of so much. We see the animals, right? Like they're storing, they're preparing, everything is in this preparation mode for what's ahead because now is that harvest season. Everything is getting ready for that dormant season and we should be too. Instead of waiting until December hits and we're stressed and exhausted, October is like, hey, let's do this thing now, right? Let's get ready. Prepare your heart now. Set your intentions now. The only room that I have finished is the living room. And currently right now, the only room that I can go into that I feel peace is the living room. I need to be getting prepared. The third thing that I think is really important and why don't let October pass you by, you've got this 90-day runway to the new calendar year. Right? As the calendar pages are filling out, I know I got my planner here, right? We all kind of, whether you are a big New Year's person or not, I'm not personally, there's something about that switching to a new calendar and switching to a new year that kind of just sets that goalpost. I don't know if any of you have ever read, I love the book, The 12-Week Year, but when you take your 12 weeks and hone in and focus on that, you can genuinely accomplish a whole year's worth, right? You don't need 12 months. 12 weeks is plenty, and 12 weeks is exactly what you have right now. And so when we look at this, we can talk about how we can set goals and habits in October, and you will statistically have an insanely higher chance of reaching those when you start them in October versus January. It's fascinating when you actually dig into the studies of this. I know it's kind of nerdy, but it's crazy how when you start in October and go, okay, from October 1st to December 31st, this is what I'm going to get done. For me, I want to go through every room in my house, strip every physical thing out except for the essentials, put it out of sight, out of mind, have some time to assess what I have, where I'm spending my time, what I'm focused on, and then only keep the things that I absolutely want so that I can rebuild the life that I actually want to live. That is my 12-week goal here that we started last week. So technically we kind of took 13 weeks this year, but we've got 12 weeks here to run through this. If I'm going to work on this stuff now, by the time we start at the new calendar year, right, by the time January 1st rolls around, I should be ready to just plow into building the life that I actually want to be living, because all of this will be taken care of. I will have been clearing stuff out, stripping stuff back, cleaning my slate, and really thinking about where I want to go, really praying about where I want to go, really just listening to the Lord's calling on where I want to be going and where I feel Him calling us to. I'll be ready to start. Everything will already be done, right? All the hard work will have been accomplished here. You can build this momentum now. You build this up, get going, get through the chaos, whatever you got going on, right? This is kind of a crazy time of year. Get through that all. You'll be looking at 2026 with bells on. That's what I want to be doing. When everybody else is busy making these resolutions that they're going to quit, probably still in the month of January, but most likely 100% donezo by February, you're already going to be on phase 2 of your amazing reset plan. When everybody else is scrambling, you're going to be that wise guy there who's like, I already put my stuff together. I've already been doing this. Yeah, come on. You can be encouraging someone else. Let's keep going. Let's do this thing. The diligent person plans ahead. I don't want to shy away from the biblical truth of this. Obviously, that's my whole shtick here on YouTube is there's a lot we can take from life, but you put it through a biblical lens and it transforms everything. If you don't reset now, if you do not take this, whatever reset looks like in your life, maybe it doesn't look as extreme as it looks in mine. Maybe you've got it far more together than I do, and praise God, I hope you do. But whatever you're at, whatever you're dealing with, if you don't reset now, you're just going to kind of coast through October, November, December, you're going to wake up in January and be in the same place. Maybe worse, because you will have added on holiday season, stress, family drama, debt, all of these things that seem to happen throughout the end of the year. And then people wake up in January and go, oh, how am I going to dig out of all of this? And you have this you want to fix it, but then you don't, right? It's the same cycle we all put ourselves through every single year. And we see it across the board with everyone. But that's a choice that you're making. Because I know it's a choice that I make far too often. And then the first of the year comes and I'm like, whew, man, I got to get this together. And I try really hard, but it's like trying to trudge uphill and it just is difficult. I know that can sound harsh. That's not my intent or goal. This really stood out to me. In Galatians chapter 6, verse 7, it says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Now, obviously, there's a very specific context there, yes. But a man reaps what he sows. That applies to our time, our habits, our spiritual disciplines or lack thereof, everything. What you're sowing is what you're going to reap. If you're sowing distraction, you'll reap confusion. If you're sowing comfort seeking, you'll reap weakness. If you keep sowing, I'll start tomorrow, that'll be a later me problem, you're going to reap regret. I mean, I'm looking at this. We're getting our son, he started college here locally, and now he's already ready to move on. We're looking at him going away and going to a university and living, we're in these, and it's that reality hitting of, I'm so glad that I sowed all that I did in his life, that we did homeschool, that we were there, that we are as close to it. Because now is that time when the separation is going to really set in. And that's a crazy feeling to have to process through. I look at my girls, right? What am I doing? I look at my marriage, I look at every day we're getting older, all of these things that come together. What are you sowing? Are you just letting these things go by because, I don't know, I'm just trying to get through the motions? I don't want to do that. I want to be intentional. And so whatever you want to do, I have a couple ideas here for how you can really take October to reset this month. Of course, you can follow me as I go through and I'm trying to do these things. And I'm literally going through my house room by room, stripping everything back and having these raw, honest conversations. And I've shared already a few times these deeper heart root problems that are popping up that I'm oh, maybe this is a little bit bigger than I realized it was. So here's what I'm finding for myself. Maybe it can bless you as well. First, we've got to get honest with God about where we really are. And this is where I felt like I was last month, was really just being honest about where I am. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed. There's too much. We're running in a lot of different directions. Not the polished, pretty version, but the raw, real version. I've got some things that I've been avoiding, that I've been putting off, that I've been kind of hiding from, that I've just been too busy to deal with. And that's not okay. Now, number 2, you can pick just 3 things, okay? That's it. Not necessarily 20, not if you want to start somewhere, start with just 3 specific areas where you need a reset. For me, it was the physical stuff all around me. I know that seems kind of crazy. That's why I'm taking the next 90 days to go through it room by room. I've got to deal with the physical stuff. I've got to strip it all out. I can't. For me, it was where I'm spending my time, really just assessing how much time I'm spending on different things in my life and getting to that. And the third being, what are the areas I'm missing out on? For me, I took big, broad spectrum things because I'm doing this over the next 90 days. If you want to focus just here in October, what you're doing, it could be something like your morning routine, right? Just having that time in the Word each day, starting off there, kind of changing up what you're doing to make it more effective to nourishing your spirit in your days. Maybe it is your health and how you're fueling your body. You really want to look at what you're eating and you're not feeling right. You need to make changes. Maybe it's just your home management, right? You got to get some systems in place. Things aren't working so well. Whatever it is, pick 3, write them down. If you want to leave them in the comment, I would love to be praying for you and what you're going through. Drop a comment down below. You don't have to get super detailed. It's okay. And I'll be praying for you in your 3. And then the third thing I think that's important is we need to create fall rhythms, not just rigid rules. If you create real rigid things, sometimes that helps. Sometimes there are seasons that works, but a lot of times it's more of a rhythm that you want to create. You're not making rules that you're going to end up hating. You're creating rhythms that work with the season. I love getting up, especially in the fall, getting up a little earlier, not getting on a device, going outside and the air is crisp and cool, and I have a cozy hot drink, and it's like the perfect time to read, to pray, to just observe the nature around me. I love that. Maybe it is doing some more, meal planning and meal prepping. I've got a bunch of this going on in my homemakers club where we're looking at, freezer meals and stuff like that, things that you can put together and put in a crock pot, let them simmer all day, right? Like this season is the perfect time for that. Maybe it is going to bed a little bit earlier because it is starting to get darker a little bit earlier, right? Like you kind of getting a little more rest. You're kind of easing into this darker season, whatever the case may be. I think there are things that we can be kind of rhythms we can be falling into here this time of year, especially as we want to work with nature and work with how God designed this time of year. Don't work against it, work with it. The next thing I think that is important to remember is that we need to prepare our home for the harder months. Winter is coming, and whether that means, busier events and gatherings and things, whether that just means, like us, we have a homestead, we have animals, like preparing for winter is a specific thing we need to do because we need to make sure that all of our animals are prepared and ready for winter, quite literally. So we have things on that front. And then there's things that I just like to wrap up and get done before winter sets in because I know it's going to be cold and I'm not going to be wanting to do certain things because it's going to be cold, right? So I just want to get those things taken care of. Whatever it might be, whether it's some deep cleaning because you're going to have family visiting this winter, it's just decluttering because you've got too much stuff to deal with. It's, that you're a person who kind of overspends during these seasons and you want to just be a little more focused and intentional. It's not just the practical pieces of it that is important, yes, but it's the spiritual stewardship that comes with being prepared, being focused, again, reaping what we're sowing. That was kind of the piece that I wanted to share with you all because I think it is so important to remember that God gave us the life we have. I don't know how many days I have. I don't know when my day comes. I don't know what it is, but in how many ways am I not being intentional? And how many ways am I just putting things off to tomorrow, next month, next year? I don't want to keep doing that. Time is short. I don't know what I have. I want to focus on the things that I need to be focusing on. This world is only going to keep getting crazier, right? The holidays are going to come. Whether for us, our family doesn't celebrate Christmas. We're busy with Sukkot coming up. That's just a beautiful, very peaceful time. We enjoy things like Hanukkah, but we enjoy getting together with family members. We enjoy going and gathering with people. Even if you have absolutely no one to gather with, just existing in the holiday season is busier. Things get crazy. Stores are more packed. There's so much going on, right? There's a lot that happens in this last quarter of the year. And now is the perfect time to seize that all and reset. To say, you know what? Nope. I'm going to scoop this up. I'm going to clean my slate. Don't let another quarter pass you by where it's just adding to the negative and not the positive. Let's invest in the things that we need to be investing in, and let's take serious today what we need and finish the last quarter of this year strong. Let's start next year better than we've started any other year because we're taking this year, right, to take these next 12 weeks and get done in them what we've probably gotten done all year long because we're going to be focused. We're going to be intentional. We're going to focus on those areas that we really feel God calling us to put our time and attention to. We're going to take this season, hear the Lord's rhythm in the changes going on all around us, and invest in the things that truly matter. I hope this makes sense. I'm really excited to keep going through this process with you, so be sure to join me tomorrow because that's what you're seeing me record here today. I'm going to drink another cup of coffee. I'm going to pull my brain together, and I think I know exactly what area of the house we're going to dive into, and I'm willing to bet it's an area of your house that you need to dive into too. I'm willing to bet. So come and join me, turn on your bells. We're going to tackle that. Here's the playlist of all of these videos. I hope this can be a blessing to you. Again, check out my other channel, Make Femininity Great Again, where we have, yes, homemaker content, Christian womanhood, biblical womanhood. We have all of that. And also the Homemakers Club with some different fun treats and things put together. So I'll leave all that for you all, and I will see you all right up there. Bye, friends.